as we are about to begin. So to all the lovely people who have joined us today, how many of you are really excited to get started? Can I see all the hands up in the air, please? Wonderful. So how's the energy today? Or are we all ready? Yes? This is not the energy. We have an amazing day ahead, guys. So I need some more energy and beautiful smiles on your faces. So are we ready? Wonderful. So a very good morning and a warm welcome to each and every one of you right here today. I, Simran Mulchandani, your host for the day, welcome you all to India's first experiential education conclave and awards here in Hyderabad. Welcome to the second edition of ELCA 2023 Education Leaders Conclave and Awards organized by ObserveNow in association with Government of Telangana, presented by LinkedIn. This is a two-day educational extravaganza where all the trailblazers of education industry will come together under one roof today and tomorrow and have detailed conversation, create plan of action on how to empower today's learner via technology. In the course of the next 2 days, education industry veterans, edtech company founders, as well as Indian and global companies active in the field of education in India will gather under one roof to pave the way for the future of education in India. So guys, fasten your seatbelts, enjoy the ride as we will be moving forward now to start this wonderful day. I would like to extend a big thank you to all our partners who made the scale and grandeur of today's conclave possible. Our presenting partner LinkedIn, Platinum partner Unstop, Gold partner Skillsoft, Broad Infinity, Training partner British Council, Online learning partner Coursera for Campus, Examination and skilling partner Mittal. And also, as you guys can see, all the partners right here today in the LED, we have 50 partners right here today. So indeed, that's amazing, guys. So I extend my gratitude to all of you for empowering us to create this scale of experience. May I first welcome our dignitaries for lighting of the lamp ceremony. I request Ms. Taniya Tikoo, Shri Navin Mittal ji, Mr. Sudhakar Rao, Mr. Sumesh Nair, and Ms. Aarti Dwivedi to join us on the stage as we would be marking the formal start of this event with lighting of lamp. We also request Shri Kartikeya Anand ji to please join us on the dais. Can we give this wonderful start a big round of applause, please? Thank you so much, everyone. So before we start with today's session, let me tell you guys that we have special gifts to all the people right here who are going to keep their social media participation very active. So requesting all of you here to please upload pictures on your social media using the hashtag ObserveNow and Elka. That is how we will be we'll be getting to know how you guys are posting. And after every session, we have some special gift for all you guys. So let's get started. Are we all good to go? Thank you so much. So let us now proceed towards the inaugural session where our experts will be talking about redefining education and 21st century skills. So yes, now we have Ms. Taniya Tikoo right here with us, co-founder and editor-in-chief ObserveNow, to deliver a welcome note and start the inaugural session. Can we give her a big round of applause, please?
Thank you so much, and a very warm good morning to Hyderabad, the city of pearls, one of my favorite cities in the country. And I would like to formally extend a welcome to you all in India's largest and first experiential education conclave, which is hosted by ObserveNow in association with the government of Telangana, presented by LinkedIn. And this is going to be one of its kind experience for the next 2 days, an extravaganza where leaders from the education space, global and private companies, leading private companies in the education space, edtech founders are all going to come together on roof, and we are going to talk about how do we empower India with technology to completely change the dynamics of what the education ecosystem is in the country at the moment. When you look at the education system today, the fragments of it today, I think it suffers from a three-pronged crisis. It's cost, quality, and access. And I think with the advent of technology, and most importantly, the intent to use technology, we will be able to come to that sweet spot. We will be able to find that beautiful sweet spot between the two where we can collaborate between academic institutions and private player to deliver tailored and customized education, quality education, most importantly, accessible for all. In the next 2 days, I'm looking forward to interacting with all of you, learning and unlearning from all of you, and paving the way for the future of education in India. And the only thing that I expect together with all of you in this Chapter 2 of Education Leaders Conclave and Awards is that we are all sitting together at that point where we are at the cusp of a revolution in the education industry. So come guys, let's witness the education revolution together. Thank you so much to all of you for being here today despite of the weather crisis that we are experiencing in Hyderabad. Really appreciate your presence and looking forward to interacting with you all. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was quite a wonderful start. So now before we move ahead, I would request Shri Navin Mittal, Principal Secretary to Government Commissioner of Higher Education, Government of Telangana, to please join us on the stage. Can we welcome sir with a big round of applause, please? Thank you so much for joining us, sir. It's an honor to have you here with us.
Very good morning to all of you. First of all, I must take this opportunity to welcome all of you to this beautiful city of Hyderabad in this, I would say, very nicely organized conference by ObserveNow in association with Government of Telangana and presented by LinkedIn and whole lot of partners. Organizing a conference of this scale is not an easy task. When I was walking in, I was really amazed to see the participation of not only those who have exhibited, but also the number of people who are participating. So it's a real delight to be here. I must say that in India we are going through a very exciting times in the education sector. And there are multiple things which are making this possible. And I can count on three major trends which are making this whole space in the education sector, and especially the higher education sector in India, which is making this possible. The foremost is, I would say, the policy level changes. NEP, we've been talking about it, it's now nearly 3 years old. Something which I would say was really, really needed for the kind of transformation which we want to see in the Indian education sector. And a lot of those policy level changes are either implemented or in the process of implementation. And this is really making this whole space very, very exciting. The second is the huge technological changes which are happening in the higher education space, not just in India, but globally, which was accelerated by the pandemic we saw 3 years back, which really, really pushed people into totally new ways of delivering educational content. And I think a lot of those changes have also been integrated into the way we deliver education now. And I think we would be seeing a lot of it in the next 2 days, because a lot of tech companies, edtech companies are present here. And I was seeing through the whole program, which has been very, I would say, nicely designed over the 2 years. So we'll hear not only those who are delivering edtech products as well as edtech content, but also those who are using it. And this is something I would say is really, really transforming the way higher education space is shaping up in India. And third, of course, is the economic rise of India. I mean, if you follow the GDP figures, we are roughly about $3.74 trillion economy now. And if you really see the economic progress which we have seen since the liberalization, since 91, we have grown at an average pace of about 8.5% in dollar terms. From something like a $275 billion economy, we have touched $3.74 trillion economy over a period of 31, 32 years. And we are likely to grow at a very similar pace, something like 8-9% in dollar terms. You see the real economic growth plus inflation minus dollar appreciation. This is likely to be the pace at which we will be growing over the next 10-15 years. And this brings in huge amount of opportunities, not just in the economic space, but also in the educational space, because you have to actually deliver the human resource which is going to drive this economic progress forward. And that is something I would say of utmost importance, because if you are not economically growing as a country, we are kind of stagnating from the human resources perspective also. So if you really, really look at it in entirety, this is a time which I would say rarely comes in a country's journey, very, very rarely. And India is going through this. Taniya spoke about the issues in education, which are very well known in terms of quality, access, inclusion. I must say that as a country, we have done very well in terms of access and inclusion. I can give you some statistics for Telangana. In terms of inclusion, if you really look at the statistics, in our higher education space in Telangana, today we have more women than men. In fact, the percentages of women in higher education space is 52% compared to 48% men. So we have, like I would say, crossed a big barrier. Of course, there are certain hidden things behind it that the same may not be true about the technical space. But if you see higher education space per se, the figures which I'm telling really tell a very interesting story. In terms of caste compositions, I can tell you the statistics for government colleges in the state of Telangana. Something like 20% of our students are from the scheduled caste communities, roughly about 10% from scheduled tribe communities, more than 55% from the backward classes communities. So put together, it is about 85% of the students. So we have really, I would say, done well, not just in this state, but this similar picture is true about most states in the country in terms of inclusion. In terms of access also, as a state, we have done extraordinarily well. We have a degree college now in almost every single assembly constituency. There are 119 assembly constituencies from the government side. In terms of number of colleges, we have the highest number of colleges in the country today compared to the population. So colleges per capita, Telangana stands right at number 1. But not just Telangana, most states in India have also done well in terms of providing access to education. So those two, I would say, are more or less sorted in most parts of the country. But the key is the quality. Quality is a real matter of concern. So we have top, let's say, 5 percentile or 10 percentile of institutions who are doing very well in terms of quality. But if you really look at the bulk of the institutions, let's say bottom 50 percentile or no bottom 75 percentile, quality is a real challenge. And how do we improve the quality in those bulk of institutions? And they form the real bulk of it. So sometimes we get really excited by the kind of work which institutions at the very top are doing. I'm not saying that's not important. That's important because you also need light posts and guide posts at the top to see the directions. But we cannot say that we have achieved good amount of quality until we also transform this bottom 50 percentile or bottom 75 percentile of the institutions which I'm talking about. And that's a real challenge. How do we do that? And I'm very sure that this 2-day conference will, the way it has brought leaders and thought leaders in education sector under one roof, would really give us interesting insights into the kind of work which has happened all across the country in different domains: private sector institutions, public institutions, universities, edtech players, standalone institutions. And I'm very sure that we will be enriched after this 2-day conference. When we go back home, we will be taking back some real, I would say, guiding principles and some interesting thought processes with us, which we can actually implement in our own domain. So once again, I thank ObserveNow and especially Taniya. I know the kind of hard work which she has been doing. She has been traveling back and forth between Hyderabad and Delhi many times. And organizing a conference of this scale really requires a lot of effort. So my real thanks and congratulations to you and the entire team who has made this possible. And I'm sure that all the participants will have a very exciting time for this next 2 days. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would request Ms. Taniya, Tikoo, co-founder and editor-in-chief, ObserveNow, to please felicitate sir with a memento. So can we give both of them a big round of applause, please? Once again, we thank Shri Navin Mittal ji for his opening remarks. I would now invite Mr. Sudhakar Rao, Director, ICFAI Group, to join us on stage. Can we welcome sir with a huge round of applause, please?
Shri Navin Mittal, Principal Secretary Revenue, all of the dignitaries from Telugu states, leaders who have assembled here, and delegates from education space that you have gathered here today for this second edition of ObserveNow conclave. I welcome all of you to Hyderabad. Hyderabad is a great city, as has been announced, and you would have experienced as well. For those who have come from neighboring states or distant states, you will find this as a new city. But you're not alone. Even people like us who reside in this city, we find it a new city every time we go around. Especially in the location where this hotel is situated, it is Gachibowli, high-tech city, and the financial district. Every time it comes across as something really new. And the buildings and the offices, the workspaces that are created gives us an impression that it is something very interesting for us to go around. So you're not alone. We are also finding it new. Welcome to Hyderabad. The other fact that members from Higher Education Council from both the states have come together, and this is a very interesting phenomenon that we have to come together and discuss and deliberate some of these activities concerning higher education in this country. There are many conferences where we assemble, many conferences where we have lots of panel discussions. We try and put our points forth, we discuss, and sometimes we debate. We rarely disagree, and then we go back. This is what happens across various conclaves. I hope this conclave and many other conclaves also will focus on some very, very important issues. Since this is the second conclave for ObserveNow, I will talk about very quickly two buckets that we need to focus on. And the first bucket of concerns that we need to really grapple with is about the issues like our efficiency, issues like self-sufficiency, issues like using technology, harnessing technology completely, some methodologies which can actually improve through workshops and boot camps and things like that, which are possible. Several institutions and several people working in those institutions would do well actually to come together and go over some of the boot camps and harness technology properly. And several edtech companies in private space are taking the lead and helping our own fraternity in a big way. That is a very nice thing. In the first bucket itself, we have other issues like for the government universities, public universities that we see. The report is that the faculty members that are present are not sufficient. We rarely discuss this. I think including in central universities, 1/3 of the sanctioned faculty are present, which means if the sanctioned faculty is 1,200 in Usmania University, which is a public university where I studied, the number of faculty that are present right now and working are 300 plus. And this is true for central universities, not just in Hyderabad, but probably in other locations as well. There's a report which was published today or yesterday. So, insufficient faculty members helping us move forward to achieve some of the visions, some of the goals that we have set for ourselves is going to be not a real situation. We'll be moving forward, we'll be talking about the fact that we are moving forward, but then in real terms, it is insufficiency. And then in the first bucket itself, we have to talk about how we are measuring our outcomes. Our friend Ashwin will help us understand in terms of quality, in terms of accreditation, I mean, which I see as two sides of the same coin, where do we measure up? I think a large number of us, including us, we clamor for the bragging rights with some accreditation or the other. But if the accreditation process helps us build internal preparedness, internal sufficiencies, and bring in efficiencies, then it's the right game. Gone are the days where we used to worry about providing AC classrooms and laboratories and Wi-Fi on the campuses. These are the physical factors of infrastructure which are supposed to be there, deemed to have been there. I think we are now supposed to worry about the methodologies, very effective methodologies of measuring outcomes for higher education institutions. And those outcomes have to be debated, discussed, and designed carefully so that our students, teachers, and learners, all of us put together, have a meaningful journey. So that's the first bucket. The second bucket that we need to worry about is no matter what we say, no matter what kind of technology we use, there is a concern which hits us, and that is a large number of students go abroad and study in foreign universities, both at UG and PG level. Almost, it is projected, almost 20 lakh students every year go out and study. Maybe in 2024 or 25, it will become 20 lakhs. Currently, I'm sure it is around 12, 13 lakhs. You may say that we don't have enough supply, range of electives, but the core issue, according to me, is that our education system doesn't get to that excitement of studying whatever curriculum that we have put together. We don't have experiential learning. We go to, including me, we go to the town telling everyone that we have experiential learning, we have all kinds of focus, we have all kinds of attention that we have on the students, but I think the students are not really excited. This is one real core issue that we should discuss, debate, and work on how we can move forward. Apart from the issues of Deshbhakti and economy and GDP, I think the factor that we have failed to provide alternatives for the students, that is making them go abroad, is something which we'll have to grapple. Of course, it will take time, but how much time will it take? Nobody actually is willing to discuss that. I think this second bucket is a very crucial bucket, and we need to discuss this in conclaves like this. And I welcome all my friends, all the partners who are here. I have known all of them, most of them actually, including the one on the top left from me, it is second. All of them are working very hard in this space. I congratulate for partnering with ObserveNow, and bringing ObserveNow to Hyderabad is a pleasure. We want them to conduct such conferences, many, in the years to come. And I wish all of you a great learning and contributing experience today and tomorrow. Welcome to Hyderabad, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Right, so moving on, may I now invite Shri Kartikeya Anand ji, Officer on Special Duty, Minister of Finance and Skill Development, Government of Andhra Pradesh on the state. Can we welcome sir with a big round of applause, please?
Very good morning to all. I'm happy to see you all here, even it's heavy rain in Hyderabad. I think everywhere traffic jams, but still this shows a great commitment and dedication towards our nation, towards our future, Vision 2030. And thank you all once again. I would like to thank ObserveNow, Taniya and Jeet and their team for their dedication and commitment and bringing all of us on a platform like this to discuss about education. This is the most important from ages. We are talking about education now and even future also. So once education, if we can crack this solution, find out the right education for every individual, whoever takes birth in our country, and give them proper education, we can see a great change in our in the world. And also India can be a pioneer and it can be in education. So before that, I just like to start this Janani Janma Bhumascha Swargadapi Garyasi. Mother and motherland are superior even to heaven. So how we are going to serve our nation by giving a quality education? Today we see, even I've studied from St. Gabriel's Warangal. Today I'm here in front of you talking because of my teachers and my parents and whatever education, which are quality education, which I received from them at school. But are we giving the same thing for the children now? Unemployment. Most of the students are engineering graduates or postgraduates, but still they don't have a lot of skills. They're lacking skills where they can't even get employment opportunities. So a serious concern that we need to work on it. If you see the survey, only 5% of 19 to 24 age group are getting a formal and vocational education, whereas Germany is giving 52% and South Korea is giving more than 95%. So it's a time we need to take actions and we need to do something for education. That is what we all are gathering here. We have a round of discussions, and next 2 days, I think a lot of new ideas is going to come. The ideas can be, we have to keep it on a track, and we have to once you put all ideas together and work for it for a better future. And Nelson Mandela once said, if you want to change the world, only the weapon is education. So education with the skill. What we do generally at present, education and skill, we actually separating it. Skill is a part of education. Give them education with the right skills, technical skills. And when you ask in a school also, you ask any child, what do you want to become in life? Someone says IAS officer, someone says doctor, someone says engineer. How many students are raising their hand and saying, I want to be a businessman, I want to be a businesswoman, and I want to be an entrepreneur? This is not happening. I want to see such a classroom that a student should raise his hand and say that I want to be an entrepreneur where I can give employment for all other students, my colleagues. This is an attitude we need to bring. So we are actually, how many employment opportunities we are going to create? Is it possible? So we have to create entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs can create employment opportunities. That should be our vision for 2030. How we can create entrepreneurs? Start giving that skill from the day one itself. Get them that entrepreneur mindset. Entrepreneurs, basically, they are the people who take a problem and they find a solution for it. When we see in a small villages, we find small kirana shops and all this, correct? Because he knows that that's the problem, that groceries and all this should be taken from that shop. So he identified a problem and he showed a solution. The same way, we need to get more entrepreneurs who can create employment opportunities. We talk about unemployment, unemployment is rising, unemployment is increasing, but how are you going to give employment opportunities? Do we have a right skilled people right away? We have a number of opportunities are there. Even now, in Europe, European countries, there are plenty of opportunities. All European countries can adopt in India can adopt each European country for their employment. They need huge manpower. But the thing is language problem. So how are we going to give the language skills? So where skill gap is there, how we can cater this? So skill gap is not that once you complete graduation or once you complete post-graduation or engineering, you will acquire skills. It is a continuous process. You need to acquire skills from the day one itself. If you don't acquire skills, what will happen? You are actually nowhere. So we have to think about how we can give these skills, how they can start utilizing new technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning. So these are the areas if we can focus, then we can actually produce the right people with the graduation or post-graduation or engineering graduates with the right skills. It is not only certificate, a degree. It is with the skilled people should come out. Our vision should be that a boy or a girl should go into the college, she should walk out with an opportunity, offer letter. Or she should she should become a businesswoman or a businessman and to create employment opportunities. This should be our vision. See, attending these summits and giving speeches, we can give a lot of speeches, we can talk, but we should talk a reality. People should come out from the college as an employee or working with some company. It's not that he will come back, after that he will start giving interviews. A student should not come on the road without an employment opportunity, or a student should become an entrepreneur from the university itself. That kind of environment we have to create by 2030. We have only another 6.5 years. So this is what we need to work on it. Even if you see that we have a dynamic, I come from government of Andhra Pradesh, and we have a dynamic young Chief Minister, Shri Jagan Mohan Reddy sir. So he started understanding this ecosystem problem, and he come up with a solution, that skill cascading system. We have 172 MLA constituencies are there. Each constituency we have a skill hub where we are going to give basic like ITIs and polytechnic kind of a skill training we are giving. And then we have a skill colleges, every member of parliament constituency. We are giving a next level skills for the people. And one skill university which is land is identified, which we are going to start very soon. So this is the way we are coming up that. And apart from that, vocational education is a bridging gap between education and industry. How industry, we talk about industry is involved in education. How are we really involving them? Are we really supporting them? When industry comes ahead to start giving them curriculum, what exactly they want, they are looking. It's not that no, whatever university or whatever college, they train people, they get an opportunity. What actually industry requires. We need to have a curriculum, industry relevant curriculums we need to have. We have polytechnic colleges, ITI colleges where 30 years back or 40 years back they established. Do we have that equipment, infrastructure, the same at present, 21st century skills required? So we need to upgrade our infrastructure, upgrade our curriculums. And for this, what we are doing is modernization of all ITI colleges and polytechnic colleges in Andhra, and 192 polytechnic colleges and ITI colleges, we are modernizing all this with industry partnership. So every polytechnic college or every ITI college is connected with one industry. The industry will adopt that entire college, and they will support in terms of knowledge, as a knowledge partner, as implementation partner, and they are giving the curriculum. It is not, we are not asking any industry that no, give them CSR and we will give, it's not like that. Industry, like we have an example, I'll take Honorable Finance Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Buggan Rajendran Reddy sir's constituency. We have one ITI, DONE. The DONE ITI is completely supported by the Kia. We have a Kia automobile factory in Andhra, Anandpur. So they are supporting in terms of infrastructure, in terms of sending their human resources to train our trainers. So this is what we are doing. Now industry is actually involved in complete capacity building for the teachers. So if you want to get a desired results in education, first we need to train our teachers with the latest technology. Then get that in new infrastructure, where really infrastructure is required, equipments. Then give them brainstorming for them, train them, and give complete practical knowledge for them. It's not only theoretically. Theoretical knowledge never works. It's only practical knowledge. That is what we look into that. So with this, I would like to conclude my session. Focusing on education, one should be making them entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, it's like in universities, they should have startup incubation centers are there. Are we really supporting entrepreneurs? Are we giving that mentorship for the entrepreneurs? I've seen so many people, when they start, they want a business person, they say that, why do you want to be a business? Why do you want to starting a business? Why don't you search for a job? No, we should not discourage them. Give them opportunities. Even Thomas Alva Edison also failed 10,000 times, he said, but he never discouraged. He said 10,000 different ways he found out. So we should encourage our entrepreneurs. See, entrepreneurs, only people can create employment opportunities. For them, we need to have a strong education system where we can support them, where we can mentor them to become entrepreneurs. If you're still thinking that we are going to create employment opportunities, it is not possible. Make them entrepreneurs. Now we should talk education with the right skill and focusing more on entrepreneurship. That will give us results. That will help us, India growing in an economy. Entrepreneurs can really help us. Society, they can support society. They can give them economy. Economy can boost with entrepreneurs. So we need to have more Ratan Tatas, Ambanis, Adanis. Why only very few people? Every district should speak about success stories like Adanis, success stories like Ratan Tata. So districts, mandals, we need to come up, especially supporting women. Women are the best entrepreneurs. How many entrepreneurs are coming from women? Especially mandal level, we need to focus on it, like beauty and wellness, automobile sector, tailoring. tourism and hospitality. These are the areas where people can come and they can work on it. Education, we are talking only bookish education never helps. It helps only 10 to 15%. Remaining, we need to have a practical knowledge. Today, at least we need to talk on this, a reality. Even there's a studies talks, 40% of people live in past and 40% in future. Only 20%, out of 20% also, only 4% they really utilize. 8% they talk unnecessary things, 8% is which is not at all relevant for them. Only people who think about 100%, they are like Swami Vivekananda, Abdul Kalam and the people. Only 4% of our brain we are using it. Let's start using students, they should start using this. We should teach them. We tell them only study, educate, complete your graduates. Parents should understand this. It is not only at schools or government it's not government only responsibility, it's a parent's responsibility. Every citizen of this country's responsibility. Why can't we be like responsible citizens? Making our country, growing. What freedom fighters has given this independence for this? Even after 75 years also we're talking about education, strengthening our education. We're talking about unemployment. We're talking about entrepreneurship. So we should, this next 2 days, we should make use of this. When we go out of this next 2 days, even ObserveNow, even management also, they should think that some output should come. That output should be a policy making. Can't we make policy for nation? To making them entrepreneurs, to supporting youngsters. That is what we required. The summits, attending summit, and we should gain something from this summit. There's so many opportunities at the international level. Are we taking the opportunities? Language labs required. Putting more efforts on education. Education can be only successful. Every individual should be responsible to make that education with the right education. Education with values and ethics will give results. Education only without any values, without any education, there is no. Certificates won't help. Values with moral values and ethics to become a citizen. That is what will produce the right citizens for this country. Once again, thank you so much for Taniya and Ajit for giving this opportunity. I am really happy to see all of you, and I wish you all the best, even though it's a heavy rain and you're enjoying this lot of positive energy I am finding here. Thank you so much once again. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for motivating us to have a vision by 2030 that, we are also focused on creating employment opportunities along with receiving. So once again, thank you so much. Can we give both of them a big round of applause, please? Thank you so much, sir. May I now invite Mr. Sumesh Nair, co-founder, Board Infinity. Can we welcome sir with a big round of applause, please? Guys, why are the energy levels dropping? Can we give sir a big round of applause? Thank you so much, everyone.
First of all, not too old to be called a sir. So hi everybody. Good morning to everyone here. My name is Sumesh. I'm co-founder of Board Infinity. We'll speak about Board Infinity a little bit into the industry presentation that we have in the next couple of minutes from now. But I think I came from a background where education was really not meant for outcomes, but education could be really focused on learning per se. At least that's the kind of background that I came from. Spent close to around 5-6 years in industry, consulting a lot of clients in higher education with one of the big 4 management consulting firms in India and abroad. And I think there are a couple of things that I learned in that process, which I think at multiple levels I could see in a lot of institutions that we have partnered with in the last half a decade of working with Board Infinity. So I think one of the key aspects of finding a lot of joy in life is to find out what you're really good at and try to match it with how that skills can be obtained and how let's say, a career can be built out of it. I think what we could see in the last probably going through around 1 lakh plus students, training them, skilling them, putting them into more than 750 companies is that there is a clear-cut lack of awareness into the kind of careers that they want to build. And this is a function of how probably they have been taught over the last, let's say, 12 years in the K-12 system and then coming to higher education. And then, once they enter the workforce, that's when they understand that where do I really fit, right? We see a lot of people who are lost and trying to figure out how to do that. This was one of the fundamental theses with which we started building Board Infinity. We're a team of around 100 people based out of Bombay and Gurgaon. We work with around 50 plus top NR of 100 ranking institutions in India. But wherever we go, we see this as a pattern. I'm not really aware of what I really want to do. And many hit a roadblock, let's say 5-6 years into their career around what they want to do. So we said that, can we build a process, a tool, an engine, which could figure out for things or figure out things for people who would like to know what they want to be or what their future is going to be. So that was one of the fundamental theses with which we kind of started building Board Infinity. So we believe that everybody has a DNA. They grow into the DNA in the biological sense. Everybody has a career DNA. So they are going to grow into that in the career sense. And how do we actually go about building it? So that's one of the fundamental research work that we do within our organization day in and day out. And I think once we are able to build that clarity for students, we are able to see them flying out with the right set of attitude, as well as they become a self-creating engine over a period of time rather than a spoon-fed engine. So that's one. The second piece, which I fundamentally believe that where the Indian education could focus a lot more is what I would call something known as Western efficiency and Eastern ethos. I think the sir which came in before this tried to cover that around ethics. But I think if you look at the right way of building a career within any organization, it is to work with the right set of ethics to reach a particular level. So, and the funniest part is that, we, in the education system, we don't teach, let's say, the right ethics or the right values to actually build your career with. We focus on, of course, domain, technical, and all those things. But I think that's another core important piece which today a lot of people in the workforce is missing. And because we are seeing, more than 1 lakh students going into different things, where they're getting stuck, what are the reasons in which they are, let's say, getting fired from jobs, etc. I think that is another challenge that we are seeing. And I see this is a generational trend that is going on where we are going low and low on the ethics piece, which is basically the Eastern values with which our traditions are built up. But we are all very good at being Western efficient, which is basically I'm really good at solving this problem, or I'm really good at solving this particular, or building a particular solution. So this is a second point which I believe that today we might want to build in our higher education system, and I see a lot of colleges actually working around it. So the first being, how do you help people discover what they want to do? And the second is, how do you teach them the right values apart from domain, technical, behavioral skills? And I think the third piece, and I'd like to keep it short before we go into the presentations, is that I think education should feel like play for the student. And when you look at a child which is probably 5 years old, for that person, everything is play. They are not asked to do something, they just find joy in what they're trying to do. But I think over a period of time, we have a lot of biases and setups that we build into the system. And because of that, most of the things kind of feel like force-fitted rather than something that I want to do. So I think the third piece is that education should really, really feel as play, because there are statistics that actually shows that people who are continuously learning are probably 10% of the entire working population, because for 90%, because the organization is mandating them to actually learn as part of their key result areas, they are learning it. But how do we move this 10% to probably 50%, where we have self-learners who would want to actually go about building what they want to do. So for that, a lot of these things should not feel like forced upon, but more play. And I think the one and third point is kind of related, because if you know what you want to do, if you go down that path over a period of time, experiment, I think everything will start feeling like play. So the idea being that, and I'm taking a statement from NEP 2020, where we talk a lot about multidisciplinary education and how we need to build the next set of force. It's a lot more personalized. I've read through the entire document over the last couple of months, and it just reflects some of these 3 core points around how education should be built. And I think that was the vision. Of course, we didn't have the NEP in 2017, but more or less what we were trying to do as a company, as an organization, as a community of people coming in together to build it, was more or less reflecting on these aspects, that how do we really solve the problem of building the right careers. And I think right careers happens when people know what they want to do, and how do we go about building it. And second, how do we create joy in this entire process, right? So I think those are the 3 key points that I would like to mention. That's my limited experience over the last half a decade in the industry, and another 7-8 years working in other professional contexts. But the more and more, myself and my team investing into this problem statement, we just realized that we have just scratched the surface of doing it, and we have a lot more to do from a private company standpoint, or from a government standpoint, or as a combined effort to get this thing done. And I think that most of the goals that we have laid out in the Constitution can also be driven if we are able to actually influence some of the parameters of education that we are trying to drive. Thank you so much, and I look forward to meet a lot of interesting personalities who have come here. I've already got a chance to meet a couple of them. Let's all keep the 2 days, the mind really open in terms of understanding what is new and what is old, and how do we all collaborate together and do it. Our team is sitting out there in the booth, ready to talk to all of you, and would love to catch up with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So guys, before we move on to the next on the agenda, once again I request all of you to please be active on your social media. After every session, we are going to give some exciting gifts to everyone who's been the most active. So requesting you all to please use the hashtag ObserveNow Elka, and that's how we would be tracking you. So go ahead, post on your social media and take away exciting gifts. So once again, we thank you, sir, and Taniya ma'am would be felicitating, sir. So can we give both of them a big round of applause, please? I would now like to invite Ms. Aarti Dwivedi, Account Director and Regional Head ANG LinkedIn. Can we welcome ma'am with a huge round of applause, please? Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you, ObserveNow, for giving us this opportunity to come forward, meet you all, network, and present how LinkedIn is contributing in the education space. So thank you. I would like to welcome you all on behalf of LinkedIn. I am Aarti Dwivedi, Account Director and Regional Head. I take care of academic and government space at LinkedIn. No doubt it's an immense pleasure and honor. I did prepare something to say, but being very honest, it was an amazing start hearing from Navin sir, Rao sir, and I guess it has been what Taniya said. It's amazing. It's learning and unlearning. Looking forward to this event. Would definitely want to stress on one part which sir said about entrepreneurship. I guess that is something very important right now for our students to learn those skills and create more economic opportunities for other fellow students even. For LinkedIn, we do have this vision, creating economic opportunities for the people of global workforce. And I see ourselves as economic soldiers. Navin sir talking about the GDP, we have to reach there. And I guess being the economic soldiers, we have to really participate to get there. Great. To this, I'll just end, and I'm really looking forward to network with all of you. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.